What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, the question at this point for the Clippers is how far can they go? How far can they go in the playoffs if Kawhi and PG doesn't return? And that becomes more of the question now that you'll see on a lot of sites and where they're trying to implement that, because a lot of people are very weary and doubtful that Kawhi and PG will return. So if that's the case, that's a good question, because with what they have on the floor, it's been very good this year. It's been very surprising, been very good for their culture in regards to what they're trying to build and implement. They got the right type of guys, I believe. And the young guys have gained so much experience being on the floor because of the absence of Kawhi and PG. It really is going to make them a well-rounded team when they all do get healthy, barring any other injuries or any possible trades in the offseason. But yeah, they're definitely going to be a team that will be a force going forward. Now, how far can they go this year? That's definitely a question if Kawhi and PG doesn't come back. I personally believe they will be a tough out, whoever they play in the first round of the playoffs or whoever plays them. And I definitely think Ty Lue will have them ready for any challenge that comes their way. If you ask me, I believe they can get past the first round, possibly, and, maybe make it to a second round, possibly, depending on who they play. You see what I'm saying? So, because, the playoffs are all about matchups. So you got to take matchups into consideration. Who matches up with them better, or who do they match up better against? Preferably, like if they had to play hypothetically the Warriors or the Suns in the first round, I personally believe they match up better with the Warriors in the first round. If they had to play a team in the first round, I personally think they match up with them a lot better than they would maybe the Phoenix Suns, just my personal opinion. So hypothetically, they had to play somebody like that in the first round. I believe that can go 6 or 7 games, even with the squad they got on the floor, because first of all, they're going to be taken lightly, I believe, somewhat. And nobody's going to feel sorry for the Clippers at the same time. But there is going to be some taken lightly because they don't see Kawhi and PG. And there will be nights where Marcus Morris will have a big night, Reggie Jackson will have a couple big nights, and then Luke Kennard could chip in with a couple big nights. And with the Clippers being a very high-rated defensive team, they can find themselves winning a few games out that series, maybe possibly escaping out that series, pending on whether, Klay Thompson is going to get back to his old self, because so far he really hasn't gotten back to his old self. So with that being said, I feel like if they had to play hypothetically the Warriors in the first round or whatever the case may be, at the playoffs or something like that, I think they would, do well in a 7-game series like that, because they're catching the Warriors kind of sort of at a good time. Because right now Klay doesn't really have that rhythm. He hasn't played in 2 years. It's really starting to show. Steph Curry isn't shooting good at all these days. I mean, he's shooting a little bit better now, but I think last week, I think he was shooting like 20% for like several games in a row. And Draymond Green is not a scorer, and he can facilitate, but his facilitating only goes but so far if Klay and Steph aren't on fire. So it's like, to me, they're very vulnerable. They're more vulnerable than a team like the Phoenix Suns if they had to happen to play them in the first round or something like that. I definitely believe they, can get past the play-in tournament if they're in that, of course. But I mean, if we're going just first round playoffs, if we had to do the hypotheticals, if they had to, I think, they would bear well against a team like the Warriors. I think they would do well if they hypothetically played in the first round a team like Memphis. You see what I'm saying? I believe they would play good. I believe that would be a good matchup for them too. That could be a 6-7 game series as well. So I mean, it just kind of really depends who they play. I'm saying who they draw out of the hat in regards to it, because I think that they can pretty much compete with anybody. But I definitely think there's a couple teams like I just named that they can possibly surprise and knock them off in the first round with or without, the services of their star players. And I definitely think Ty Lue feels that way too. So I mean, with that being said, I like their chances, but I like more than anything, I love the teams chemistry that they look like they're building. They look like they've built some type of form or unity and chemistry of, who's on the floor and the confidence they have in each other. I love that the most about this team, which I think that can propel them, to go a lot further than what people believe and maybe escape out of a first round of a playoffs. I definitely think they can possibly upset somebody and do it just because they're going to be taken, lightly a little bit just because they don't have their stars there, but they have enough clientele there to keep applying pressure on the defensive end of whoever they play, and they got just enough offense just to get over that hump and beat teams. And they're also known for making a lot of great comebacks too. So if the Clippers are down 20 plus points, I'm pretty sure the notion has went around the whole NBA. Hey, if they're down 20 points, that's right where they want to be. They actually thrive when they're down 20 points. They actually find ways to come back and win games like that. So a 20-point lead against the Clippers really isn't safe. It's probably actually safer if they have a 20-point lead on you, because maybe they'll let their foot off the gas some. But, like I said, there's been a lot of doubters with the Clippers. Terrance Mann has answered, some questions about that in his recent post games about, Kawhi and them not coming back and how people doubt the Clippers. And basically he was saying, just keep doubting them. And Ty Lue basically implements the same thing. With what we have on the floor, we don't have no give in or give out mentality. We're ready to play, and what we have on the floor is good enough to help us win if we play the right way. And, basically Ty Lue has said also here lately in a post game where he talks about, just practicing the right habits is what's going to propel you to be a better team and play as the better team and play with confidence. And he's so right about that, because when you practice good habits, it always usually equates to good things. And in their case, good things would be winning, of course. And, it definitely, bodes well in their favor and towards that, because I feel like Ty Lue is definitely teaching a lot of those young guys the right habits, the good habits, and learning chemistry, which is allowing them to flourish and play well in their position. And at the same time, as I said before, they're getting experience due to the fact that Kawhi and PG has been out so long. So that experience, along with gaining, more of a basketball IQ in which, Ty Lue can teach them and implement to them, it's going to definitely bode well for them. They're definitely going to be able to, compete at a good level or high level when the playoffs come, along with the veterans they already have on the floor who already know the game, who's been in the game several years, which it'll all actually just marinate on the young players, and everybody will be in one flow possibly. And this is the reason why I said, the Clippers could be very, very dangerous to any opponent that they play against, to any opponent that they happen to face in the playoffs. So, I'm definitely with Ty Lue on that. With what they have on the floor, there's definitely a lot of fight in them, and definitely, definitely they don't need to be taken lightly, because they've shown that they can be very resilient and very good when their backs are against the wall. So, any team that plays them, you're definitely going to have to give it your all, almost as if you're playing against Kawhi Leonard and PG on the floor, because that's exactly how the Clippers are going to play. They're going to come at you. They're going to attack you in different ways, offensively and defensively, and they're going to challenge your game plan in which you had coming into the game, and see if you can make better adjustments than they can. And with having a coach like Ty Lue, a lot of good things can go their way. So we're going to have to see if the Clippers can, do some good things. I definitely believe they can. I definitely am a believer in what they can do, but we'll see how far they go. If, Kawhi and PG doesn't return, if they do, then of course, sky's the limit, but we'll definitely see how far they can go, because I definitely think they can at least escape out the first round, whoever they play, just because, like I said, I think they got that type of fight in them, and I think they'll definitely surprise some people and, definitely be a tough out, whoever faces them, just because I know what they're going to bring every night, which is that intensity and that resiliency. And Ty Lue is definitely going to get the best out of his players, whoever's on the floor. So whoever they face is definitely going to have to be ready for that challenge. And just going to have to see what the Clippers can do. But hey, that's my take on everything. You leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khaliis out.